Namaste, and welcome to your healing journey. And we are in day 13 now, and we're still in the realm of the mind. And we're going to be going through a process that follows on from yesterday's process, where not only did we learn how to embrace fears, but we're going to learn how to go down through the different fears, down through the layers of fears to open into our infinite intelligence, into our divine potential, into the love that we are. And so let's dive in right away. We're once again in this divine experiment and taking a nice deep breath in, letting it out. And another nice deep breath in and letting it out and closing your eyes. Now, yesterday we will have uncovered several beliefs and several fears that were quite strong and others that were not as strong. And we may have even done the assignment and written down any other fears that came up for us. And so what I'd like to do is go back to that campfire. And let's begin by allowing our awareness to be vast and spacious, infinite and free in front of you. Letting it be boundless and spacious and free behind, and endless to all sides. Vast below and sky-like above. And just resting here in this field of presence and an ocean of acceptance. And of course, we're inviting that campfire again. And there's the younger you that had all these fears, and a mentor, and the present day you. And once again, now that we know and have embraced some of the fears, I'd like to invite the younger you to just once again speak them out loud into the room. So on the count of 3, just speak out loud some of the fears that came up yesterday. And then let your awareness become aware of the strongest of those fears. So 1, 2, 3. And just once again, emptying out fears that you haven't got what it takes, that you're not smart enough, not good enough, that you're not lovable enough, whatever the fears are, not capable enough, that you're not going to get it right. Whatever secret fears you may have had, or any kinds of fears. And of course, I am speaking out to kind of catalyze you to come up with different fears and to inspire you, just to allow whatever's going to come up to come up. So just speaking them out loud into your room. And now pausing there. And of the ones you've mentioned and the other ones that you've written down from yesterday, which one of these seems to be the strongest or the most grippy or the one that really gets to you most strongly? Speak that fear out loud. And as you say that fear into the room, how does it make you feel? And speak out loud into the room how it makes you feel when you hear yourself say those words. How does it make you feel? And now asking yourself innocently, what's the worst that could happen with regards to the situation that I'm afraid about? What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? And let a picture arise in your awareness and speak out loud. what that picture is. So go ahead. What's the worst that could happen in that situation regarding that fear? Let the picture arise and speak out loud what that situation is. And how does that picture make you feel emotionally? And speak out loud that feeling. And then simply asking, well, if that happened, well, then what's the worst that could happen? If that situation in that picture actually happened, then what's the worst that could happen? And let a new picture arise. And how does that make you feel? And name the feeling. And if you were even to go deeper than that and say, okay, if that happened, then what's the worst that could happen? What's my worst fear here? What's the worst that could happen? And allow a picture to arise. Speak out loud into the room what the picture is. And how does the picture make you feel emotionally? And then if all those things happened, what's the worst that could happen? Ultimately, obviously, it's our bodies falling away. What's the worst that could happen? And how does that make you feel? And if the body were to fall away, it were to dissolve now, what's here? What remains? If the worst that could possibly happen, that the body actually falls away, what remains? What remains? What's here when the body is dissolved and it's been taken away? What remains? Who are you? Who are you? Just feeling your own awareness, just expanding and deepening, and just resting here. And realizing that in the core of your worst fears is the light, is the freedom, is the love, is the joy, the peace, the awareness, the presence. It is your own divine potential that's here in the core of your worst fears. Fears have been stripped away. What remains is just this love. And while you're resting in this vast field of presence, this love, this light, I'd now like to ask you a different question. And I'd like to ask, if you really completely get to the root cause of this fear and clear it out, what's the best that could happen? And just right now, imagining that you have cleared out this fear on all levels of being, and imagining yourself a day from now, breathing how you're breathing, feeling how you're feeling. And what's the best that could happen if you're completely free from this fear? And then stepping into the future a week from now. Breathing how you're breathing, feeling how you're feeling, and opening into the consciousness of how it is when you are absolutely free from this fear. How are you feeling in yourself, about life? And then stepping into the future a month down the line, breathing how you're breathing, feeling how you're feeling, opening into the consciousness of you, having released, let go of this fear. How are you feeling about yourself and about life? And stepping into the future 6 months down the line, breathe how you're breathing, feel how you're feeling, opening into the consciousness of you 6 months down the line, you. How are you feeling? Being absolutely free from this old fear. And then stepping into the future a year down the line. There won't be a single molecule a year from now that's here today. You're literally all new. How are you feeling in yourself, about yourself? Completely free from this old fear about your life. What's possible in your life? What's the best that could happen in your life now that you are free from this fear? And knowing the fact that you can even conceive of this consciousness means you can start from here, starting now, and just resting in this consciousness of freedom, of joy, of light, of love. And it's vast in front of you. It's free behind you. And it's infinite and endless to all sides of you. Taking a nice deep breath in, letting it out, and you can open your eyes. And then your assignment for today is a different kind of assignment. I'm going to ask you to write down the best that can happen in your life. All the best that could happen once you're free from this fear. And just make a long list of all the beautiful things that become possible when you're resting in this freedom from that fear. And I look forward to tomorrow's session, and until then, a heartfelt namaste.